Hey, Bludgeon here. Today I want to introduce you to one of my favorite games, Across the Obelisk. This is a game in the same kind of genre as Slay the Spire. So it's a roguelite deck builder, but it brings a lot of interesting things to the mix. The main one being you play a party of 4 characters instead of 1. Let's just jump straight into it and I'll show you what's going on. All right, so I'm going to start a new game. I've started a brand new profile starting from scratch. And we're going to do adventure mode here. In we go, create a new game. Okay, so you have a party of 4 characters and you can customize, you can mix and match the characters. Now, when you first start off, you only have 4 characters available, or I have some DLC, so I also have some extra characters here, but I'm going to leave that aside for now. We'll just start with the default 4 and we're just going to jump straight in. Now from this screen, you can customize things with the characters. So you can go in, you can see their basic skills they get when they level up, the basic cards in their deck. They have perks, which is kind of like a talent tree at the start, though you have 0 points there. You can customize their skins, card backs and stuff like that. All right, but we're going to jump right into the game here.
It all started on the princess's 16th
I'll let this
birthday,
play so you can see the story, basically what's going on here.
when suddenly, a burst of energy erupted from the princess's chamber and swept through the kingdom of Senenthia. The royal guards explored every corner of the castle, but found no sign of her, or Lord Hanshek, the court magician. The king sent soldiers all over the kingdom, but none of them returned. The trail of the princess was lost deep in the old forest, near the ancient obelisk that had been dormant for centuries. Desperate, the king proclaimed a royal decree, announcing a reward for whoever brought the princess home safely. The news spread quickly throughout the kingdom. Many groups of adventurers prepared to investigate the obelisk. This is the story of one of those groups.
Okay, so that's the basic introduction. That's the idea is we're, trying to find the missing princess. So you're going to start at the left side of the map here, and you need to make your way over to the right to defeat the boss at the end of each map, and then you can move on to the next one, and you can choose, which route you want to take. And if there's random events, so each time you play, you might want to take a different route based on what is available, and that might also depend on which characters you have. The first thing you do, though, is you go into town. So in town, you can buy equipment for your heroes. So each hero has 5 equipment slots here: weapon, armor, jewelry, accessory, and pet, I think is what they're called. And your heroes each start with 1 item, and you can buy more at the shop. I'm not going to buy anything right now. You can buy new cards for your deck. At the beginning, there aren't a lot of cards available. So one of the things in the roguelite part of the game is as you play, you'll discover cards out in the world, and then those will appear in your shop in future runs. You can also remove cards from your deck by going to the church. Each character starts with 15, and 15 is the minimum card size. So you can't remove below that. You can also upgrade cards. So each card has 2 possible upgrades that you can choose from. You choose one or the other depending on what you want. So anyway, I'm not going to get too deep into these systems right now. We're just going to jump straight into the game, and I'll show you how the game works. And then, the gear and the cards and all that will make more sense once you understand what's happening in the actual game. Okay, so to start off with, we can choose to go north through the center or down through the bottom. I'm just going to pick north here. And we got to fight these cornies. Okay, so this is my party of characters. These are the enemies. Up at the top, you can see the order of everyone's action. And so everyone has like a speed stat, and that's going to determine their order and who goes first. All right, so Andron's going to go first. Here are the cards that I drew this turn. And you can see their energy cost in the top left. You can see his energy here. So he has 4 energy available. This green 3 is going to show how much energy he's going to get kind of every round. energy you don't spend carries over to the next round. So you don't have to burn it all right away. Sometimes it makes sense to keep your energy for later. Okay, so let's just get started here. I've got some 0 cost cards. Let's look at that. All right, deflect. So I play that. It's going to draw me a card, and it's going to give me 4 block. So this is basically just free defense. So I play this, draw another card, it gives me 4 block. So block is going to absorb enemy damage. So the next 4 damage that Andrin would take from an enemy will be negated by that block. We'll do it again. I can only use that on myself because it says self on it. All right, expert tracker here. Look at the top 5 cards of my deck, discard any of them, and then grant inspire, which inspire means you draw an extra card on your next turn. Now this can be cast on anybody. This little fire thing here is called vanish. That means you can use it once per battle. So if I use this, it'll kind of be trashed for this battle, but the next fight, it'll be in my deck again. All right, I'm just gonna kind of skip that right now just because like, I don't wanna do too much stuff here. We're just gonna get into the fight. So let's do some attacks. Slice here can only hit the front monster. So we'll smash this corny. Aim shot can hit anybody, but I'm gonna still hit the front monster because typically, you want to wipe people out when you can. All right, adrenaline here. Suffer 1 fatigue, which is gain 1 less energy per charge at the start of next turn. So it's 2 energy now at the cost of 1 later. But like I said, energy carries over. So this is still like net 1 energy. All right, and I'm just going to skip this for now. Now in this game, there are a lot of different kind of like buffs and debuffs, so it can be a little bit overwhelming at first to kind of keep track of what everything does. So let's look at what already exists. Andrin has this fast charge, which gives him speed +2. Magnus has this reinforce, which increases his resistance basically to physical damage. So there's a bunch of different damage types as well: slashing, piercing, and blunt. And you can see his resistances up in the top left there. You can see that the slashing, blunt, and piercing damage, he's got cranked resistances there. Okay, let's take a look at his 0 cost cards. Captain's Howl. So all monsters apply slow and vulnerable. So it's gonna decrease their speed. So they're gonna go later in the round. So you can see Reginald there jumped up in the queue because they got slowed down. Each stack of slow is -2 speed. And then vulnerable reduces all of the resistances by 5%. Okay, I want to get rid of this guy. Unfortunately, it's going to take 2 attacks to do it, but we'll just do it. So it's inefficient here, like 9 damage is kind of, more than 2 health, but fine. We'll get rid of him. Okay, defend, sell 14 block for Magnus. Intercept can be put on any hero. We'll go ahead and put it on Evelyn here. And end turn. All right. So Evelyn at the start of the round here got an insulate. So that increases basically her magic resist. Fire, cold, and lightning resistances get boosted for her. And the reason they have this is to do with their particular like individual character traits, which we don't need to get into too much right now. So she's a mage. I didn't talk about the different classes, but there are 4 different character classes. So there's warrior, scout, I think it's called mage, and what they call healer. So I've got one of each of those right now. And they each have like different card pools that they can get. They each have their own deck, and they're going to get different, like each hero can only collect cards from their own class. All right, so Evelyn has this cold spark here, costs 0, and it's going to deal a bunch of different kinds of, 2 different kinds of damage, cold damage and lightning damage. And it's going to put on 2 different debuffs, chill and spark, and that's based on how many cards I have in my hand. So that's the first thing I want to do. We'll just put it on this front guy. So chill reduces cold resistance, and I think every 5 stacks of chill reduces speed by 1. Spark reduces lightning resistance, and it's gonna, at the start of this enemy's turn, sparks will deal damage to the characters next to it. It won't damage the character that it's on, it'll hit the people beside it. All right. Charge battery. Let's hit this same guy again. Again, we're just gonna kind of concentrate our damage here. And so that granted energize to Evelyn as well. So she's going to, it was kind of free. It costs 1 energy now, but I'm going to get the energy back next turn. All right, let's Frostbolt this guy. 14 frost damage and put some more chill on him. Okay, so now there's 5 stacks. It is speed -1. And then there's this defense thing here. I'm going to do it just to show you what it does. I can put it on anybody. I guess let's put it on Reginald just for fun. Okay, so notice this is called shield, which is different from block. So shield gains 6 block at the start of the round. So it doesn't do anything now, but at the start of next round, it'll turn into 6 block. So you can see up here, there's a little round 2 marker. So the battle is divided into rounds. In each round, each character, each enemy, and each hero will act 1 time. Everybody will have 1 turn per round. Block disappears at the end of the round. Okay, so even if they don't get hit at the end of that round or at the start of the next round, that block will all disappear. So that's where shield can be handy, is it doesn't help you immediately, but when the next round starts, it'll turn into block right away. So notice start of the round, not start of the turn. So Reginald's turn just started. He doesn't have any shield here. Okay, so Reginald got a Bless, which is damage done +1 and heal received +1. Okay, so Divine Grace here is going to give more Bless. It's a heal. It also dispels, but they don't have any negative status things. There's no debuffs. Nobody needs a heal, so I don't really need to do that. I'll just blast this front guy. Okay, Barrier's going to grant block and shield. Put it on myself since I don't have any block on. And I'll just keep my energy for next round. Pop, pop, pop. All right, so we're in round 2 now, and you can see that everybody's block disappeared, but Reginald has block because his shield turned into block. All right, and Andrin's going to go first again. Okay, can we get rid of this front guy? Yeah, so we'll just use... Perfect. This slice deals all of this guy's health, so we'll just get rid of him. Goodbye. And let's see, 3 energy. Okay, so let me use this. We're going to put some marks on this. Marks increase the damage taken by that enemy based on how many charges there are. So 3 marks means anytime he's dealt damage, it's going to be +3. And I could aim shot for 15 damage, or I could rupture for 13, but that's also going to put slow and bleed on him. We talked about slow. Bleed does what you think it does. It's just at the start of their turn, they take that much damage. All right, so Magnus might as well defend. We'll put an intercept on Evelyn, and we'll hit this guy. Whatever. There's not going to be another turn for Magnus, so I'll just burn all his stuff. Give him a whole bunch of block for no good reason. Here comes Evelyn now, and she can definitely get rid of this guy. Now, if I wanted to, I could wait to give Reginald a turn. Maybe he could heal himself and maybe kill this guy, but he might not be able to kill him, and I don't want to give him another chance to act, so we're just gonna get rid of this guy right now. Boom. All right, so after you win a fight, you get combat rewards. So each character, you can see what they get. Got some gold and some, I don't know if this is like, I'm not sure what this is. Experience, maybe? And you can choose one of the cards next to them. Or if you don't like any of them, you can choose shards. Shards are used to buy cards in town, or they're used to upgrade the cards that you already have when you visit town or when you visit a shrine somewhere. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'm not gonna go through every card right now. I think it's better to just kind of keep things moving for now. If I see any good cards, I'll talk about them. No. Okay, Curse of Agony here, you can see that it has yellow text. That means that it's upgraded. So sometimes the cards you're offered are randomly one of the upgraded versions. So if you right click on it, here's the base version. here's the upgraded version I got. Here's the alternate upgraded version. And you can spend shards to switch them around if you want. So this looks, I mean, pretty nice right here. 9 damage, 6 bleed, 6 poison, and a dark. I'll explain those things later, but let's take that one. For Reginald, okay, so this Holy Smite is upgraded. It's pretty good damage for 2. It also gives Bless, which just like boosts damage done and healing received. So we'll take the Holy Smite. Okay, and we move on. So characters do gain XP here. You can see here the XP. So when we get to that much, they'll level up. Let's take a look at their basic abilities here now that we've seen them in action. So Magnus here, his well-trained ability means at the start of combat, gain 2 reinforce. So that boosts his resistances. It makes him a good tank. Andrew, at the start of your turn, gain 1 fast. So it means he's going to be fast. Evelyn, at the start of your turn, gain 1 insulate. That's the magic resist thing. And Reginald, at the start of your turn, gain 1 bless. So over time, Reginald's kind of going to get maybe cranked up in his ability to deal damage and his healing received. Okay, good enough there for now. Let's move on to the next thing. We can go to Tom's Farm or we can go to Scorched Field. Well, all right, let's go to the Scorched Field here. Okay, so sometimes there are these kind of little story events. Crops on fire. Near the farm, you come across a burned field and a burning house. In front of the house, there's a fire imp causing fires next to some burning cornies. Even half burned, the house may contain something valuable, but you'll have to deal with the fire imp and cornies first. You can deal with the imp and investigate the house or ignore him. Okay, and so this is where you have a choice as to what you want to do here. And, you know, if you play the game a lot, then you might kind of memorize like what exactly is the best thing to take depending on who's in your party. But, you know, it's not that critical for enjoying the game. You can just kind of go with what feels right. So combat, attack the imp head on. Stealth, hide in the cornfields and attack him by surprise. Now, some of these things, it's not a guarantee that you'll succeed. So there's a little die here. If you mouse over that, it tells you your chance to succeed. And so it's going to kind of, each person in the group is going to draw a card. And if the total energy cost is 5 or lower, then you're going to succeed. That's what this condition is. And it's telling me based on the cards in all of my heroes decks, I've got a 77% chance of doing that. So probably if I succeed at stealth here, attack him by surprise, maybe I'll get to like guaranteed act before he does, as opposed to just the regular combat. Evelyn can try to cast a cold spell to scare the imp. So she needs to draw a cold spell card from her deck. 25% chance there, not great. Or sneak away. And we need a 3 or higher for everybody, and that's 90% chance. Okay. Just to show you how this works, I'm going to choose the stealth option. Okay, we succeeded here. So the total was less than 5 of the energy cost of each person's card, so success. You had no problem hiding in the cornfields without him seeing you. When he least expects it, you come out of the shadows and give him a good blow. The imp is stunned, begins to bleed. The fight begins. All right, I think that gave us some XP as well. I'm not sure if all of the options would, but here we go. So the imp is bleeding to start the fight, and he's also slowed, I think. So we got an advantage for doing that. Okay, Andrin is going first again here. Well, we always can start with deflect. Let's put the marks. So the thing is, I know a lot of Andrin's attacks at least can hit front monster only. And so that's where I'm going to put his marks, even though, you know, I'd like to kill this imp maybe more, but I think that's just kind of more efficient. And let's use the expert tracker this time. And this one can actually go on anybody. So Magnus is going to go next. Let's make sure that we're going to draw cards we like. Okay, I like the Captain's Howl. I like the Enrage. The Defend is fine. But you know what? I don't know if I want him to be dealing damage right now. I think maybe I want to draw some defense for the other heroes. Okay. All right. So we're going to slice up this corny. And that's it. Save 1 energy for next round. Here comes Magnus. All right. Now Magnus has drawn a lot of cards here. Why did he draw so many cards? I know Andrin gave him a boost, but that seems more than I expected. Oh, that's because of, okay, here we go. So like I said, each character starts with an item. Magnus starts with the Wolf Slayer, which is a little odd considering he is a wolf, but that's part of his backstory. Combat start, a random hero gains 1 Inspire. So I guess he gained it. So he drew 2 extra cards at the start of this round. Okay, Enrage here. So some of these cards are basically just like amazing free energy. That's what this is. It costs 1 energy, but it gives you 2 energy, and you draw a card. Only once per combat. All right, Captain's Howl. Let's give everybody slow and vulnerable. Now notice that slow doesn't stack. You can't stack it up over time. So this imp already had 3 slow. I just put slow on everybody. It just stays at 3 here. When you put them all at once in 1 stack, great, but you can't pile them up. All right, let's put a defend on. Let's intercept on Evelyn since she's the lowest health. We'll hit this corny and I'll do 1 more defend and then save my other energy. I don't think I need that much block, especially as I said, because it disappears at the end of the round. Okay, so Evelyn, we'll start with the Cold Spark because it deals damage based on the number of cards in my hand. That's good enough to get rid of this guy right away. So let's just blast him. All right. Okay, let's Frostbolt. I guess we'll just stick with the front guys again because that's who Andrin can hit easily. Fire Blast doesn't deal much damage, but it doesn't cost anything. And okay, let's put the Elemental Ward on Reginald here. All right, and when I think of it, let's look at each person's item now. So Reginald starts with this combat bandages, which means his healing that he receives is +1, and at the end of combat, all heroes recover 8 health. So that's like a really nice, like free group heal at the end of each combat. Okay, Healing Rain. So that's going to hit everybody. Global means your team and the enemy team. It's going to grant 1 regen, which heals 1 per charge at the start of turn. And 1 wet, which increases electrical damage, but it also gets rid of burn. This guy's burning, so I don't really want to do this. Heal is not necessary. Okay, so we'll just put some damage into this front guy. I'm going to barrier myself. And that's going to be that. So burn deals damage at the start of the turn. Burn deals double damage. Why is it saying that? Is it because he's roasted? Is that like... What's going on there? I guess because he was like in the burning field, he's taking double damage. That's funny. All right. So Andra did get a little bit hurt here. Free energy. Okay. So we'll just get rid of this corny with the aim shot. And then we'll just rupture this guy. Put a bunch more bleed on him. So this is showing you how much he's going to take from the bleed. Okay, Barricade gives all heroes block, which is pretty nice. Can I get rid of this guy? So if you mouse over here, he's going to have 7 health at the start of his turn. So if I can deal 7 damage or damage plus bleed, that'll get rid of him. So I'm just going to do it. This Rend will do the trick. So now you can see this glowing red skull means he's going to die at the start of his turn. So there's no point even doing anything else. Bye. You saw the little 8 health pop up on everybody from Reginald's bandages. Okay. So performance bonus, great. What does that mean? So basically, the faster you win the fight, the better your rewards will be. All right. I'll take a shield bash here for Magnus. It deals damage and grants block at the same time. Quick shot. I mean, it's free damage. free damage is good. I'll take that. For Evelyn, okay, Fireball. So this is AoE. It deals 18 damage to somebody and then 8 damage to the sides. I'll go ahead and take that. And for Reginald, Benediction. It grants 2 bless and it heals. Let's take that. Okay, so here's the result. The Burning House. You are at the entrance of the Burning House. Clearly, this was a poor man's house, and you can see that the contents inside are already destroyed or burned. Before you leave, a chest catches your eye, although the chest is still on fire. The fire is spreading rapidly, and there will be nothing left in a few moments. Will you venture into the flames for a poor man's chest? All right, so we can choose. We can rush into the house and try to get the chest out. We need a 4 or higher for the group, which is 75% chance. Or just leave because you don't want to get burned. Let's go for it. 4 or higher. Can we do it? 1. Yes. Ooh, critical success. You come out safely with the chest. Miraculously, it is intact. Also, inside the house, you find an old rope that seems to be useful. You proceed to open the chest. You get 80 gold, 72 XP. Oh, yeah. Okay, so all of that unlocked there, that means that these items can now show up in shops in the game from now on. Okay, so each character can choose 1 item here or 50 gold. Okay, so for Magnus, let's take a look. I think this leather armor makes sense. Just increase his physical resistance. So I'll go ahead and take that. I mean, gold is good too, but that's a nice item for him. Okay, for Andrin. And we got to also pay attention to what slot it goes in. So he's got armor already. This is holy damage. That's no good for him. Blunt damage. That's no good for him. So both of these rings are good defenses. And you can look at, there's like a rarity here. So this little green gem means that it's a little bit higher level than the no gem. That's why it's better. Dart pouch. First turn, shuffle 2 poison dart into your deck. So this is poison dart. It deals minimal damage, but it puts poison on. Poison deals damage at the end of the monster's turn. So bleed and burn deal damage at the start. Poison deals damage at the end. I mean, it is free. It is poison. I'm not like super excited about that. I think I'm just going to take gold for him. Evelyn, this is her item, Family Jewels. So just resistance to fire, frost, and lightning damage. So if I were to take one of these rings, it would replace that. I'm not super psyched about that. I don't want to give her poison darts. It's not really her thing. We'll take gold for her. Reginald now, he does deal holy damage. So I think this makes sense for him. And if you want to, you can right click to see the corrupted version of that item. The corrupted version, sometimes you're just randomly offered those and it's just better. Or if I already have this Gil runestone and I come across another one, when you get the second one, they combine into the corrupted version. So sometimes you want to look and kind of see what that does. Anyway, I'm happy with the increase in holy damage, so I'll just take it. There we go. Okay, so we can go up here or we can go down here. Now, here you can see it's a character event. That means this will give me a quest, which if I succeed in that quest, will unlock this character so that I can choose that character in future runs. So that's like something that you typically want to do when you're starting out the game. And so let's go ahead and move that way. Okay. Sometimes when you are going to an encounter, you have the option to choose the corrupted version of the fight, Obelisk Corruption. And basically it makes the fight harder, but you're going to get better rewards. So the Obelisk's influence is corrupting the monsters in this area. You can choose to fight them under the effects of corruption to increase the difficulty and gain additional rewards. And the nice thing is, it tells you what exactly you're going to have to deal with. So first, it gives you kind of an estimate as to how hard this is going to be for you. But it specifically says, okay, Sacred Ground, all monsters gain all damage +1. That's not good. All damage +1 is no joke. Increases their holy resistance. So that means that Reginald's going to have a harder time damaging them. And combat start, all heroes suffer 7 Sanctify. This is pretty serious. So it tells you there what Sanctify does. Decreases holy resistance. And whenever enemies hit somebody who has Sanctify on them, they heal themselves based on how much Sanctify they have on them. Okay, now the good news is this is just combat start. So it's not like every round there's going to be more Sanctify piling up. It's just to start the fight. And these charges of everything, so like burn, bleed, poison, all those charges, they all decrease by 1 every turn. And Sanctify also decreases every time somebody hits the person with Sanctify. So it's not going to last forever. It is going to make them heal a little bit. The fight will last a bit longer than normal, but I think this should be doable. Now, what's the reward? We can choose one. Each hero will be able to remove 1 card for free from the deck. Okay, so you can see I'm over 15, so I could do that. And that can be nice to get rid of cards you're not that psyched about. Or the party will heal 30% of their max HP at the end of combat. So that's like kind of just compensating you for doing the harder fight. So let's try it and we'll see what happens. It also gives you score. So there's a score you collect here, which doesn't really matter, except it's something you can keep track of if you want to go for high scores or compare your score against other players online, but it doesn't affect the game in any way. Okay, so let's just do it. Here we go. All right, deflect for Andrin. We'll put marks on the front guy. We'll slice him, and keep the energy for next round. So you can see everybody has Sanctify. All right, Magnus got a bunch of extra cards again. So Enrage, Captain's Howl. I think we better defend. Spread some intercepts around to the team. Okay. So that corny is toast. As soon as he has a turn, he's done. So I don't need to hit him anymore. All right, here comes Evelyn. We'll Cold Spark. We'll just start working on the next guy. All right. We'll just feed the damage into him. Maybe Reginald can finish him off before he even gets a turn. And Elemental Ward. I'll put it on Andrin since he's a little bit damaged. All right, so again, I don't need to damage this guy. He's going to die at the start of his turn. And notice if I mouse over him, it shows me where he is in the top, so I know like where everybody's acting, which is nice. Or I can mouse over it here, and it sort of like darkens him over there. All right, well, this is 1 damage short here, but it does give me a bless. So I'm going to do it. Actually, that's good enough, because the burn will finish him off. So both of these guys are toast. So let's start feeding damage into this farmer. Goodbye. Ah! He healed him. All right. All right. Back to Andrin. We're in round 2 now. And you can see the color of the rounds. So the lower you go, the worse your rewards will be. All right. Perhaps I should be trying to kill this guy since he can heal, but I'm pretty sure I can get rid of this corny. Yeah. All right, goodbye to you. Now, I can rend this guy. The 8 bleed is pretty good over time. Or I can shield bash him, which will give me block. I'm going to do that. And we'll do more damage here. Okay, so that block was pretty handy. He put some bleed on me, but that's fine. Okay, we can use our new Curse of Agony. So let's do that. It's going to deal 9 shadow damage, and it's going to apply 6 bleed, 6 poison, 1 dark. So dark, each damage type has its own special debuff. So dark is the debuff that goes with shadow, and it reduces shadow resistance. And that's all it does until it stacks to 25, and then they all blow up and deal a whole bunch of damage. So there's no way I'm going to get to 25 charges here, but that's okay. Okay, so I could charge Battery, which would deal a little bit of lightning damage. The sparks don't do anything because he doesn't have anybody on his sides for the sparks to damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Transmission. which is a way to give energy and cards to another hero. So I'm going to give 2 energize to Reginald. He's going to have more energy when his turn starts, and he's going to draw an extra card as well. All right. Okay, so I actually have things to dispel now. Dispel and bless. Let's go ahead and do that. It's going to heal Andrin at the same time. Let's Holy Smite this guy. And I guess we'll give even more bless to Andrin just to crank his damage when his turn comes around. He is next. Healing Rain, we'll skip for now. All right, so this guy is toast. Boom. Okay, so performance bonus was just good this time, so it was plus 30% golden XP instead of 40. And slightly, no, plus 1 cards tier is still good, which doesn't mean it's guaranteed your cards are going to be a higher tier, but it just increases the chances of getting upgraded cards. Okay, so I don't really want any of those on Magnus. We'll just take the shards. I'm just going to take shards on Andrin. Okay, upgraded Fire Blast. So the regular one doesn't apply burn. This applies 1 burn, but 1 burn is not particularly exciting. Upgraded Frostbolt is good damage, but it costs 3 instead of 2, which I'm not super excited about, but you know what? It is a nice big burst of damage, so let's take it. And for Reginald, okay, look at this. We got a corrupted one, which is the best version you can get of something, but corrupted cards always have vanish, which means you can only use them once per fight. Still, I'm going to take that because the regular version costs 1. This costs 0, heals for 7, and draws you a card. Like, you just can't go wrong with that. Okay, and here's the reward we got for picking the corrupted fight. So each hero can take 1 card out of their deck, which is going to make it better in terms of getting the cards we want. Okay, Magnus has 4 defends. I don't know if I need that many of them. You know, I could also decide to get rid of some of his attacks and focus him more on defense. But, yeah, I'm going to lose. Let's lose a fast strike, actually. It can only hit front monster. We'll just get rid of it. Okay, for Andrin, let's see. I like the deflects. This expert tracker is useful, but it does kind of like just like burn up time making use of it. 4 slices on front monster, but I think I want to get rid of something expensive. Look at this. I've got 4 aimed shots. They're fine, but 2 energy is just a bit too much. Let's get rid of one of those. Evelyn, fire blasts are pretty weak, but they are free. Charge battery is like also fairly weak, but essentially free. It costs 1 now, but I get the energy back later. The elemental wards, I'm not sure if I care too much about. I have 3 2-cost frostbolts and 1 3-cost frostbolt. I'm not sure I need that many of those. On the other hand, I don't think I need the elemental wards really at all. I'm gonna get rid of those. Okay, and for Reginald, let's see. All right, this foresight thing, I'm gonna get rid of this. I'll tell you right now. It costs 0. That's fine, but it doesn't really do much. So sight makes it so you can see what the enemies are gonna do. That can be helpful. So you kind of know, it doesn't tell you who they're gonna attack necessarily, unless their card says like front monster or front hero or back hero. But sometimes it says random hero. Anyway, it can be all right, but it takes up a card in your hand for kind of pretty minimal effect. So we'll get rid of one of those, and that's it. Okay, so now we have a choice between going to this Riverbank rare event. So this is an event that, as it says, is rare. It's not going to be there in every run. Or we can go to the Watermill, which is a character event, which is going to give us a quest to potentially be able to unlock this character for later. And so let's go ahead and do that. Like I said, this is a new profile. Nothing is unlocked at all. Whispers in the shadow. You enter a nearby watermill. It seems empty at first glance, but then you hear a whisper directed at you. Sss, you aren't my prey. Sss, you are scaring them. Leave, please. But first,
I have an offer for you. If you happen to find a very strong venom and give it to me, I will join your group after I finish this job.
You can't see who it is, but the offer seems interesting. Okay, we have some choices, and you can see that what's kind of one of the cool things about this game is depending on who's in your party, you sometimes have access to different options in each of these events. All right, so the standard accept, you'll search for it if you get the chance. But because Reginald is here, that accent is definitely that of a lizard man. I've helped your tribe before, so this is probably better than the standard. Or you can decline if you want to, if you just don't like the idea. Okay, so let's go with Reginald's. That accent is that of a lizard man. Voice in the shadow.
Oh, I can't believe it. It's you, Reginald. I'm Thules, the little lizard man. I really appreciate what you did for me in the past. Right now I'm on a job. Could you bring me that venom, please? You will surely find it in the spider cave in Aquarfall Marsh. When I finish the job, I'll come back to you to thank you properly. For now, please accept these items as a gift.
Okay, so I'm not sure if we would have gotten the items if it weren't for Reginald being here. Okay, and again, each character can choose one item or choose 50 gold. All right, Reginald, okay, Magnus has leather armor already, which means if I choose the leather armor for him, they'll combine into the corrupted version, which gives him better resistance and also +5 HP. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Alternatively, I could switch it to slippers to give him fast. So at the combat start, it would give him +2 speed, which can be really good, especially for a tank character, because it gives him a chance to use his defensive abilities before the enemy's attack. So honestly, the slippers might even be better than the armor, but I like the idea of getting the corrupted version. So we'll do it. And there you can see that. And in these situations, if you make a mistake, as long as you don't exit, you can restart this whole dialogue. So I could click that and, I could re-choose. Okay, for Andrin, again, there's this dart pouch. Now, if I'd picked it before, I could get the corrupted version, which puts 3 in the deck and they're a lot better, but I didn't take it. So I think I'm just going to stick with the gold for Andrin. Yeah, I mean, I could increase his resistances, but it's like not that exciting. We'll take money. For Evelyn, mind damage +1. She doesn't deal mind damage. This would be good. Make her a little bit faster. She doesn't have anything in that slot. So let's go ahead and take the slippers for her. And for Reginald, okay, so right now I'm increasing his holy damage. I could switch it instead to increase his healing. Now at the moment, it doesn't feel like I really need that, but maybe I will later. If I get the corrupted version, it's heal +2 and 10% more healing at the same time. Alternatively, I could just take resistances or money. I'm just going to take the money for now and hope that I can find a shop that gets me some good items. Okay, let's continue on. Northern Plains Uncommon Event. Farmer's Caravan. You meet a small group of farmers who are transporting grain to the watermill. They seem very nervous because they're near the edge of the forest and these parts are full of bandits. You approach them cautiously. They don't see you as a threat and you can talk to them. Options: leave, buy a sack of grain for 60 gold, or offer to escort them to the watermill in exchange for a sack of grain. Okay, the problem is there's not a great chance. We have to draw 4 or lower. Less than 50-50. I've got a bunch of gold. I think I will buy the sack of grain. And these kind of items you get, like for example, this rope I found earlier, they're things that can help you later on if you happen to find the right person or the right quest. These things can let you unlock stuff. So I'm going to buy the sack of grain here for 60 bucks. All right, so next we can choose Edge of the Forest, which is a healing site. Basically, at these spots, you can either heal, or I think maybe you can remove a card from your deck. But 2 of my characters already are at the minimum. I think I'd like to get down to this epic event just to see what that is. So let's move this way, tower side. All right, the Soldier Trainer. As you go around the tower, you see a man with a wooden sword practicing some movements. When you approach, he speaks to you. Hello, adventurers. Perhaps you're interested in some combat training. I can teach one of you my special defensive move for 200 gold. If you all want to learn it, it will cost you 1,000. Wow, that's more than 4 times the cost. I used to train young soldiers in this tower, but since the war ended, I'm out of work and short of money. This seems like an opportunity to learn something new. Okay, so the nice thing is it tells you what this thing is. So I don't have 1,000 gold. I can't buy it for everybody. But look what it does. Okay, so it puts this card in that character's deck. When you draw it, draw a card, dispel slow, and gain 8 shield. So this is like pure upside. Having this card in your deck is just pure good because it doesn't take up a slot, because you draw a card when you draw it, and it just gives you benefits and then goes away. So you're going to get that maybe once per fight. I think I'm going to put it on Magnus, because Magnus being slowed can be quite bad because block disappears at the end of the round. So if Magnus goes at the end of the round after the enemies have attacked, all of his defensive abilities basically don't do anything. After training for a while, only one of you manages to learn the new defensive move, but it was good combat practice and the whole group gained some experience. Okay. All right, so now we're going to the forest ruins. I guess I could still go up if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to go down here. Story time. In the forest, you found a large open space that seems like the perfect place to rest a bit before continuing your journey. As you go to set up camp, you notice a group of werewolves camping. They see you and offer to share the camp. One of them also says to you, "Hey, you want to share some stories from your travels with us while we rest?" Do you want to share their camp and tell them a story? So you can leave, you can accept and vaguely tell them you want to reach the obelisk. That's a okay chance. Or Magnus, I'll tell them a story about the Wolf Wars. I hope they don't recognize me. That only works if he draws a defense, which is 54%. So let's try it. Fail. Okay, so now you can see what happens when you fail one of these things. Usually it means you get some kind of bad card put into your deck, which really sucks. So so what happens? Fail. Magnus tests the waters and begins to tell a story. Unfortunately, he tells them that he fought on the side of the kingdom. That's when the werewolves recognize Magnus and pounce on him. Quickly, you join Magnus and the fight continues. So there's kind of like a backstory in this game, and you get bits and pieces of it as you play, which is kind of cool. So Magnus has that sword, the Wolf Slayer, and it's like, wait, why does a wolf have a Wolf Slayer sword? And you're kind of getting some backstory on that here. So they attack Magnus and he gets an open wound. When he draws this card, he gets 2 bleed and it vanishes. So that sucks because that does take up a slot. This doesn't replace itself, right? You don't draw a card when you draw this. So we've got to find a way to get rid of that card at some point. And now we've got to fight these wolves. This is probably the toughest fight yet. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Andrin goes first. He deflects. And I think, again, we're just going to keep the marks on the front monster just because there are so many front monster attacks here. You know what? I wish I'd ruptured that guy now I think about it. That would have been good, but anyway, I didn't do it. Let's make sure Magnus gets a good opening draw. Okay, Barricade is great. Enrage is great. Intercepts are good as well. Defense, so no attacks, just all defense, which honestly, that's pretty good. It's not going to use all his energy, but he'll also draw more cards. Let's just keep that as it is, really. I'm okay with that. Okay, this guy is stealthed. So what that means is I can't hit him with direct attacks. If I have something that hits all monsters or something, it'll get him, but I can't directly target him. It also means that his damage and healing is plus 60%. So when his turn comes back around, he's going to be dealing extra damage. Okay, so it's Magnus's turn. We'll start with the Enrage. All right, so we've got the Barricade. That's a really nice thing to start with for sure. and 3 energy. So I've got to decide, do I want to shield bash for more block, or do I want to rend to get the bleeds going on this guy? We'll use the defend anyway. That costs 1. Am I going to need more? So here's, if I had sight, I would kind of know who they're going to attack. I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna get hit. So I'm gonna go with shield bash here. And then let's spread the extra defense to the backline members and see how this goes. Okay, yep. Front hero got hit. Speeds up his teammate. This guy's a healer. Okay, so this guy also gave himself sharp, which increases slashing and piercing damage. So he's got 3 stacks, so it's +3 for him on all that. Evelyn's turn. Okay, we'll use the mana gem for +2 energy. Frost Bolt. I wonder if I want to try to... This guy is a healer. Maybe I'll try to feed damage into him. Reginald and Evelyn can both kind of target whoever. But Magnus and Andrin can only target fronts. I'm afraid of kind of splitting their damage. So he also, look at his resistances. He has this insulate 3 stacks. So his magic resist is cranked. So actually it doesn't make sense. We'll just go into the front monster here. Who do I want to use the transmission on? I wonder if it's Magnus. Because there's nobody to heal for Reginald right now. Or maybe Andrin just for more damage. Let's do that. Okay, and we'll put this on... I think I'm going to put it on Magnus because they're doing a lot of front damage, it seems like. We'll see how that goes. Okay, now... I don't need the heal, but the 2 bless is pretty good. Let's put that on Andrin, so kind of crank him up for next round. And honestly, the base healing rain kind of sucks. When you don't have perks to boost the regen, or if you don't have a good way to use the wet, it's sort of like a waste of a card. It gives everybody regen, including the enemies, which is not really what I want to do. But if I use it, it at least gets it out of my deck. Anyway, let's blast this guy. I'll just hold on to this for now. And I'm just going to get this out of my deck. Ooh. Targeting the back monster from stealth. That's like a big backstab kind of move. All right. Can we get rid of this guy in the front finally? 8. That's not going to do it. I've got a ton of energy though. Perfect. All right. Goodbye to you. And then this guy is more vulnerable to physical damage. I am going to put some damage into him now. Okay. So the wet will also prevent 1 charge of burn if one of these guys burns us. And the gun guy might have some like explosive shots or something. Okay, let's rend this guy. I think defend makes sense. Okay, so her wet didn't protect her because the first thing he did was purge. This all heroes purge 1. It gets rid of a buff on everybody. And those kinds of things always start from the left. Okay. I think I want a fireball. Let's just fireball right here. Boom. Okay, Reginald, we could use some healing now. What do you got? Kind of want to use the Holy Smite to get a bless, but then I can't heal. I could barrier though. So this guy seems the weakest to holy damage. But I think want to focus. Let's just do that. Okay, and this is going to go on Reginald himself. Ouch. Good old deflect. Okay. All I can hit is the front monster. Goddamn. All right, well then let's put... Is that even worth the one? Now I'm going to rupture him. And quick shot him. Okay. So I'm definitely getting hurt here. Reginald is a little bit in danger. Hopefully Magnus has some... Okay, we can at least intercept. Now, bleed is not stopped by block. So the block doesn't help against bleed. It does help against burn. It does not help against bleed. Okay, Captain's Health is going to slow everybody down, which is going to give Reginald a chance maybe to heal before at least this guy goes. I don't think I can kill this guy. I need to deal 23 damage. I don't have that in me. So I think I'll defend. But let's just throw everything at him. Okay. So burn, it's going to deal damage equal to its stacks and then lose 1 stack. Okay, this guy's dead at the start of the turn unless he gets healed, which he could easily... That could easily happen. So I think I want to kill him. 7 damage. It's a little awkward. Do I have to use... Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to use the Cold Spark on this guy. Just because of the debuffs, I don't want to waste them on this guy. Okay, so it's definitely not perfect, but you know, at least that guy is gone, and maybe I can get rid of this guy as well. Okay, here comes Reginald. All right, so this is good. I can heal myself. I don't have any damage, but I guess I'll just heal. Or barrier could... Nah, we'll just heal. And I guess we'll see what this guy's doing. I could have done that first. So now we know he's hitting the middle hero. And the front hero. Okay. Next round, block disappears. Oh, this guy's stealthing. It's a little scary. Also gave himself powerful. Okay, so that's a buff that increases your damage and healing done by a percentage. But what happened? I think he got... Did he get hit by something? It seemed like he got de-stealthed. Oh no, he stealthed and then he used this, which took off his stealth or something. Not entirely sure. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so we can get rid of that guy. Let's do that. And then I think I'll rupture this guy. Slow him down, put a couple of bleed on him. What's he going to do this round? Crash Lightning and Healing Totem. Okay, so the Lightning middle hero. So that'll be one of these two. It's like a random one of these two. So the Elemental Ward could actually be helpful there. Yeah, I might as well do that. I'll put it on Andrin. Since she has 1 Insulate, we'll give him a few. Now notice 3 stacks of Insulate does the same as 1 stack of Insulate. It's 30%. The difference is... what is the difference? Do they go away at the start of the round? I think maybe each round you lose it. You lose 1 stack of it. All right, let's use our Curse of Agony. Oh, look at all those debuffs. The green glowing skull means he'll die at the end of his turn as things stand right now. So we can see the bleed damage, or the start of turn damage and the end of turn damage there. Let's hit him with this Frostbolt. Reginald bleeds some more. And he doesn't have any healing, unfortunately. So we'll just go ahead and finish this guy up. Okay, so we won the fight, but definitely took some damage there that was not healed up at the end of the fight. Okay, let's see here. Steel Skin is a pretty good defensive ability for Magnus. But it does cost 2. Not sure about that. This is, so each class kind of has different subclasses. So there's like a bunch of like mind damage and sort of like bard singing song type things that Andred's not really doing. Or at least I don't think I'm going to bother with for him. I mean, it's not bad. It's 15 damage for 2, but I'm going to skip it. I don't really need more of this. We'll take shards. I don't really need more of this. We'll take shards. And for Magnus, you know what? I will take that steel skin. Okay, so you can see here, people are hurt a bit. And here's my quest, Whispers in the Shadow. So I've got to find a spider cave, which is not on this map. It'll be on another map. Now I can choose to go to this shop. I do have gold. Or do this epic event. Let's do the epic event. The Failed Expedition. In a corner of the forest, you see a pile of goblin corpses. It seems they were scouts. One of them is wearing a peculiar necklace that you pick up. You also see a few blood blobs playing near the spilled blood. One of them approaches you and seems to be curious about your weapons. Surely, if you give it a weapon, the blood blob will follow you for quite a while, but the weapon will be lost. Perhaps you could try to befriend it in a less troublesome way. What do you want to do? Okay, so this is an opportunity for one of these characters to get a pet. So I can just leave. I can try to befriend it by playing with it for a while. So it shows me what the pet is, okay? So whoever takes this blood blob will get increased piercing resistance, and every turn the blob will cast Blood Splash. We can see that for all monsters, it targets all monsters. Apply X bleed, where the bleed equals a third of the bleed they have on them already. It also applies 3 bleed to all monsters, and you gain powerful. Okay, so that's a great thing to get. I definitely want to get this on somebody. This is not likely to work. So Reginald can sacrifice his weapon. Holy damage. I mean, it's a good thing for him to have. He doesn't have any bleed bonuses, but nobody does really, because I'm on a new account, so nobody has any perks like the talent points. Later on, when you've unlocked a bunch of stuff, you might like give people kind of pluses to certain things. You'll specialize them. So certain characters might have like +5 bleed or +2 burn or something. Nobody has that. So at the moment, it kind of doesn't matter who this blood blob goes on. So what do I care about more? Magnus has the bleeding theme. It kind of fits him better. But I'd lose his Wolf Slayer, which means one random hero gets 1 extra card basically at the start of the fight. It's nice. It's not that big of a deal, but it is nice. But I think just thematically it makes more sense. Like, this is a better item really than that holy damage thing. But you know what? Also, is Magnus going to give up his Wolf Slayer? He is. He's going to do it. The blob is very happy with your offering, consumes it in a moment, and starts to follow you. Okay. And those are the only 2 options because those are the only characters that had weapons on them. Okay, so this got me a bunch of XP, and I have now leveled up. Okay, so I think that would have healed everybody a little bit. Okay, so now, when you level up, each hero kind of has 2 choices per level of a sort of bonus ability. So for Magnus, I can choose Follow-Up or Wolfguard. Follow-Up, add a copy of Follow-Up to your deck. Okay, cost 0, vanishes. Next attack, reduce the cost of the highest cost attack in your hand by 3 until discarded. Okay, so it's a way to like use an expensive attack more cheaply. Well, I think Magnus is going to be more of a tank. This game, I mean, he has Rends, which costs 2, but I'm not super psyched about that. Wolfguard. Okay, target on a hero. All resistance is plus 10%. Damaged by others, gain 15 block and 1 reinforce, lasts 4 uses. This is really good. So it puts this buff on one of my characters where it increases their resistance, and anytime they get hit, they get block and reinforce. So that's like a really, really good defensive card. We'll definitely take that. Okay, and next, when I level up to level 3, I can still choose the left or the right. It's not like I've locked myself into the right track here. Okay, for Andrin, I can get Maneuver. This card will go into my deck. When you play a card, for every energy used, draw 1, gain 5 block to Evasion. Evasion is each charge of evasion just absorbs 1 entire attack. All right, so this is like a one-time use kind of thing. Puts it on himself. And so I want to use a high energy attack after I do that, and it'll give me defenses. Okay. Or Wild Hunt. Self buff. Increases mark charges by 1. And whenever you play a card, for every energy used, apply 1 mark to a random monster. So this means like for 1 turn, I'm going to put a bunch of marks out onto the enemies, which is going to increase the damage they take. So I can choose defense or I can choose offense, essentially. At the moment, I mean, this does affect the marks from itself. Let's go for the Wild Hunt and see how it goes. Okay, Evelyn. Elemental Proliferation. Okay, so this is an enchantment that goes on herself. Increases lightning, fire, and frost damage by 2. And whenever she hits somebody, applies 2 sparks, 2 burns, and 2 chills. That's cool. Or enchant weapons. Okay, it's a discover 3 enchantments and place 1 into your hand. Okay, so when I play this, I get to choose either fiery weapons, frost weapons, or electric weapons. So I can put this on anybody, including herself or somebody else. And that person's damage will become that element's damage. So let's say I put fiery weapons on Andrin. All of his attacks will become fire damage. His fire damage gets +2. And whenever he hits, he'll apply 1 burn. Now, these debuffs are pretty weak right now, again, because I don't have the perks to boost them up. So it's only 1 turn. It's 12 uses. I'm going to go with the enchant weapons. It's kind of a fun one, and it is versatile. So if you're fighting an enemy that's like resistant to fire, you can change your damage to frost or whatever. Okay, Reginald. Divine Retribution. Okay, self buff. Whenever he's damaged by others, deal 10 holy damage to them and gain a bless. Lasts 4 uses. So that's a pretty nice one. Just like hurt anybody who hurts him and gives him bless, which increases his damage and healing received. Or focus heal. So you use it, and then your next healing spell is going to deal double heal. One-time use. My healing is kind of weak. I think, I'm going to take the focus heal, partly because it costs 0, whereas this costs 1. Okay. The blob is very happy with your offering. Okay, so we've got a blob, which is great. Here it is. Okay, and I can choose who gets it. Oh, okay. In that case, I definitely would have gotten rid of Reginald's item, but I didn't quite realize that. I thought it meant Magnus would actually get him. All right. Increases slashing resistance. I mean, that does make Magnus even more of a tank. I'm just wondering if any of these... Let's give it to Magnus. He's the one who gave up his sword. All right. And there's nothing for everybody else, so just 0 gold, 0 gold, 0 gold. Okay, now it's time for the boss fight. Ilmer's Awakening. The obelisk is in sight, but something very dangerous is blocking the way. Ilmer, an old treant once known as the protector of the Senenthia forest, has awakened and been tainted by the energy emanating from the now active obelisk. Besides Ilmer, there is a Trunky and a Dryad protecting him. You can't see any way to avoid the confrontation, but maybe you can make the fight easier or worse depending on how you approach him. This challenge will be difficult, so what will you do? Engage him quickly to catch him off guard. Rest. Okay, try to rest behind a tree before attacking. That's an 89% chance to succeed, and I could use some healing. Ambush. It's risky, but try to hide in the forest to start the fight with stealth. 6 or higher, pretty low chance of success. Okay, so this one, catch him off guard. I think that means that he starts with some kind of debuff, or maybe we start like with fast on us. But this one is 40% heal, and given the health bars, I think I'm going to take this. Now, I might fail. I need 6 or lower. Critical success. You get a wonderful rest and feel more invigorated than ever. You're now in optimal condition for combat. Okay, 4 XP, but everybody gets healed basically to full, or in fact, to full. Great. Okay, here we go. Boss fight. All right, so Andrin's first. We'll use the adrenaline. We'll use the deflect. We'll put the marks on this guy. All he can hit is front monsters, so we'll just go ahead and hit him. He's got pretty good physical resistances, but, you know, nothing we can do about it. All right, so there's the blood splash. Now, unfortunately, both this tree and this tree are immune to bleed. So she's the only one bleeding from it, but what are you going to do? So this rend is pretty bad here because it can only hit the front monster, but he's immune to bleed. So we'll shield bash him, get some block. I think defend for some more. Do I even want to do this? I guess so. Maybe these two can get rid of him. And again, the reason not to do it would be just to save energy for better stuff later. Okay. Okay, so the enchant weapons, let's see. What are they weak to? Weak to fire. So maybe I want to just change all my damage to fire. And maybe I change Andrin's damage to fire because, yeah, they have pretty high physical resistance. At least the trees do. So let's enchant weapons. We'll choose fiery weapons. And we'll put that on Andrin. There it is. Okay. Now, Curse of Agony. Well, we're going to get the most juice out of that if we put it on this tree because all the others are immune to the bleed. So we'll just stack it on her. And I'd like to get rid of her anyway. I can Frostbolt her, or I can charge Battery, which is kind of more energy efficient. And the sparks will hit the people on the sides. So even though it's less damage, I think I'm going to do this. Okay, don't need to use the flash heal right now. Let's Holy Smite. It's the best damage on this guy, but I'm a little bit worried about her. Can I get rid of that guy? Yeah. Okay, great. Just get him out of there. Okay. And I can either deal damage or I can protect. Let's go ahead and... You know what? I just want to feed damage into this tree lady. Ouch. Okay, so let's take a look at what he did here. He put thorns on himself. So thorns kind of does what you think. When anybody hits him, they take piercing damage equal to the number of thorns. And then the thorns will reduce. And he's got 6 powerful damage and healing done plus 30%. Okay. Wild Hunt here. Yeah, I can Wild Hunt and then use 2 aimed shots. That's going to put some mark charges on. All right, and it's fire damage. Let's just try to get rid of this chick. It's sort of a shame. She's almost dead as it is. Evelyn should be able to finish her off, I think. I might want to put this into the tree. Actually, I can just use that. Done. Unfortunately, the marks are all going on her, which is not helping, but... So you can see Andrew took some damage from the thorns there. There's that old wound from that stupid story I told. All right, well, it's all defense. Let's use the steel skin because that's kind of the most efficient one. And intercept, let's put it on Evelyn since she's the lowest health at the moment. Do I need this? I think I'm going to save my energy here. Okay. Cold Spark. I don't need to hit her. She's going to die at the start of her turn. So we'll put this on Ilmer. And that Thorns got rid of her block, dealt her a bit of damage. I'm just going to keep doing it. So I'm eating the Thorns damage, but I'm also reducing the Thorns. He also has 8 regen. So he's going to heal 8 at the start of his turn, then 7 the next turn, 6 the next turn, and so on. Transmission. Do I want to put it on Reginald? Or maybe Andrin? He's got this fiery weapons on. Let's just beef him up. I'll put this... I'm also going to put that on Andrin just to protect him a bit. Use the mana gem. Here we go. Goodbye to you. All right. So I could double a heal. I guess I could heal Evelyn to full. I suppose I probably might as well. Or I can just Holy Smite this guy. Let's use Foresight. Let's see what he's cooking here. Rain of Thorns. All heroes. Purge your thorns. Deal 12 to everybody and 1 bleed to everybody. Impaling Root. Hit the front hero. Gain Powerful. And I don't know what this last one is. Let's just hit him and get another bless. And then I'm going to put this on. And it'll stay there until I use another healing spell. Okay, he dispelled his debuffs, which hurts. Okay, it's a little scary here. Deflect. Okay, the bleeds don't do anything again, unfortunately. Expert Tracker. Let's do that with Reginald. Let's try to get some good defense. Okay, the Divine Grace is good. The Healing Rain. I think he might burn us at some point, so maybe I want the Healing Rain. I think I'll just keep it like that. Okay, so Rupture is pretty inefficient here. Let's go with Aimed Shot. Good damage. Slice. Good damage. It does stack burns, so you know what? I'm going to do it even though it's inefficient. The slow is fine. The bleed doesn't do anything, sadly. Okay, get some vulnerable on him. Enrage. Got my boost ability, so got some nice buffs here. Got a vitality out of that. What was it that I just did? This. Yeah. Okay. How did I get the vitality? I'm not sure. Okay, Barricade. That's great. Defend everybody. Definitely want that. I think I'll intercept Evelyn since she's the lowest. Rend doesn't do anything. I'll save the energy and just defend myself. Okay. There's nobody on the side, so that's kind of inefficient, but the fire damage is still pretty good. I think I'll use this on Reginald. And I'm just going to do this one because it's energy efficient. Okay. Well, this can heal Evelyn basically to full. She doesn't have any debuffs. Magnus has 5 bleeds. I'm not super concerned about it. Who wants blesses? I think I want the blesses on Andrin. He's kind of my main damage dealer right now. But I want to do this one first. Let's do this. Okay. Here we go. I think I'll just heal myself here. And I don't want to do the healing rain now because that wet will take off his burn. So we'll do a barrier and I'll do it on Reginald. Here we go. More thorns, more regen. Okay. So unfortunately, a lot of block kind of got wasted there. But we're doing pretty well as far as health goes. Do I want to put marks on him? The thing is, if he... It's kind of good to just clutter them with debuffs so that it's harder for them to dispel the stuff you like, but I can't really stack all that much. I will do it, though. 2 slices, I think, make more sense than 1 aim shot, for sure. I will take Thorns damage, but that's all right. Okay, here's the Wolf Guard. So who needs this? I think Evelyn is the lowest. Reginald is kind of the most... He is the healer, so you know what? I'm going to put it on him. Steel skin myself. I mean, this is not bad just for getting rid of the thorns, but he's about to purge his thorns anyway. So, but it'll save them a little bit of damage. All right, we'll just do it. Because again, every time you hit somebody with thorns, it reduces the stacks on the thorns. All right. Definitely want to be blasting him with fire because his fire resistance is getting lowered. I mean, not by a ton, but it's already low to begin with because he's a tree. And I guess lightning also, he's got decent... Yeah, his lightning resistance is relatively low. Frost resistance is relatively high, but that's still pretty good damage. 24. Yeah, let's hit him. Okay, let's just do as much damage as we can. Who knows? Maybe Reginald can get him before he goes. I kind of doubt it. 29 damage. Yeah, it's not quite gonna happen, unfortunately. Okay, so we need to heal people. I'll heal Evelyn because she's the lowest. Give her a couple of bless. And I think I better just kind of... let's just blast him. Oh, you son of a... Okay. Now, for a boss like this, if you kill the boss, the little minions just disappear. Front monster, though, it absorbs all of Andrin's attacks. That sucks. Okay, I'm going to put the more marks on him, though. See if Evelyn and Reginald can get rid of him. Aim shot at least can hit him. I think we should be good. So they've got a weak debuff. Damage and heal done minus 50%. I'll just give everybody block. And I'm just going to stop there. Again, I'm pretty sure we can get rid of this guy. Yeah. Let's blast him. Boom. Victory. Okay. So we got some nice rewards here. Look at this. We got some rare cards, which is great. So it's one tier up. Even epic here for Reginald. Amazing. Okay, let's take a look. Shield Slam. Okay, attacks all monsters based on your block, but it also removes all your block. It also slows all the monsters. That's pretty awesome. However, Stockade is a great defensive ability. Give all heroes 12 block, 5 thorns, and 1 vitality. Each vitality gives plus 5 max HP. So it's like it's like 5 heal, but it also increases the max. So even though this is an epic card, so it's like definitely higher value. I think I want the defense. So I'm going to take the Stockade here for Magnus. And for Andrin, this is a nice like song thing, but it requires like song mechanics that he doesn't currently have. So I've got 2 different all monsters. Multi-shot hits all monsters for 2. That's nice. Volley hits all monsters for 6 twice. So basically all monsters for 12, but it costs 4. Let's go ahead and do it. And for Evelyn, Bookworm. Reveal a book from your draw pile, put it in your hand. Does she have any books? You can see at the bottom what kind of card they are. She currently does not have any books, so that's not very good. Drain life, deal 12 dark damage and heal yourself for the damage done and apply a dark. That's kind of nice. Shifting scroll, reveal 2 spells from your draw pile, put 1 into your hand and discard a spell. That's also pretty good to give you like better options, but let's take the drain life. And for Reginald, okay, Perseverance. Any hero gives 17 block, 17 shield, and 2 zeal. I'm not even going to explain zeal right now. It's from one of the expansions. It's like more complex than it deserves to be. I'm just going to skip it for now. Terrorize. Okay, Purge Courage. Deal mind and dark damage. Yeah. This Protect from Evil seems too cool for me. Epic card. Upgraded epic card, by the way. Here's the basic one. So grant 36 shield and 4 buffer. So each stack of buffer prevents a curse or a debuff. Pretty nice. Let's go with that. Okay, we got a bunch of golden shards as well. The path is clear. Ilmer will never wake up again. It's kind of sad. A shame that a once tall and wise treant like him had to end this way because of the mysterious reactivation of the obelisk. Between Ilmer's roots, you see a large golden chest appear. You're one step closer to your objective. Okay, open the chest. Inside the chest, you find some golden shards, but also a good amount of magic items that had been long forgotten, hidden between Ilmer's roots. Okay, so bosses have like loot tables. So there are certain things I think that will always appear, and some that sometimes appear, and they can also sometimes be like corrupted versions or not. Okay. Well, for Magnus, let's see. He doesn't have anything in his accessory slot. 8 max HP and combat start gain 4 regen and 4 thorns. So that's pretty nice to start that way. That's a good one for sure. Sacred Tablet +1. Sanctify charges. Nobody's doing that. Cup of Death. Dark charges +2 and dark charges explode at 16 instead of 25. Yeah. Evelyn maybe could move into dark, but it's going to be pretty hard to do. Leather gloves. Combat start 3 powerful. Increases damage and heal. I mean, that's a nice thing to start with, but I'd rather keep the defense for Magnus here. Surprise box. Combat start gain 1 of these, and you can get a buff or a debuff. No thanks. Dirty bandages is just a worse version of Reginald's bandages, but somebody else could take it. So it's like extra combat or extra healing at the end of every combat. Ilmer's branch. Healed on +1, and when you play a healing spell, gain a regeneration. So that could be pretty nice on Reginald if I move him more into healing and less into damage. You know, just kind of stacks regeneration on himself the more he heals, which is nice. Okay, Shield of Thorns. All resistance is +6%, and 2 times a turn when you play a defense, gain 2 thorns. So Magnus is playing a lot of defense. And so he can just start stacking thorns on himself throughout the fight, which means the enemies are going to be taking more and more damage when they hit him. So I think I like that. It's going to lose him some max health. It's going to lose him some resistances. But I like stacking thorns here. Maybe somebody else can take the Yggdrasil route. Okay. For Andrin, I think I'll take the Yggdrasil route on him. Yeah, I like him having the speed +1. The leather gloves give him a bit of a damage boost up front. But let's give him the Yggdrasil route. For Evelyn, I could give her the Cup of Death. She has... This applies a bit of dark. This applies a bit of dark. But it's not enough that it's ever going to stack to enough to explode. I'd have to like really try to pick up those kinds of cards, but it's not really her thing. She's more of an elementalist. So I'm not too interested in that on her. Do I want her to have fast at the start or powerful at the start? That's actually a reasonable question. And if I can get the upgraded, it gives 2 powerful every turn. So maybe I take the leather gloves for her. I think so. And for Reginald, yeah, we'll take the Ilmer's Branch. Increase his healing, give him a chance to stack some regens on himself. Okay, so we have finished this first act of the game, and there are 4 acts that you go through if you survive that long. So now that we've finished here, we've beaten the boss, we can't go back and do the other nodes that we didn't get to. We now click on the obelisk itself. And now here's what happens. The Senenthia obelisk. You find yourselves in front of the obelisk. After centuries of inactivity, it is now bursting with energy, and the runes engraved in the stone glow brightly. As you read the runes aloud, the wall of the obelisk warps and distorts, creating several portals. The time has come to cross the obelisk. Where will you go? Okay, so here's where you can kind of choose which kind of world you want to go to next, or which map you want to visit next. So there's a red portal, which is kind of like a fiery zone, a green portal, which is kind of like a poisony zone. Blue portal is an icy zone. Yellow portal is like a desert zone. And turquoise is like a sea zone. Okay, well, you can see here that we've got our little icon telling us this is the zone we need to go to if we want to complete that quest for Thules. Okay, so let's just go ahead and choose the green portal. You cross the portal, and before you realize it, you're already in another place. Woo! Act 2, the Aquarfall Marsh. What will happen in the Aquarfall Marsh? Will we find the venom that Thules is looking for? And what strange new places and items will we discover? And will we survive? Tune in to the next video to find out for Act 2 of our adventure in Across the Obelisk. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments what you thought. And if you have any questions about anything, you can let me know there and I'll be sure to get back to you. As always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/bludgeon, and tune in on Sunday mornings Eastern time to watch me play Dune Imperium and maybe a little Obelisk as well. You can also join the Discord channel to stay up to date with everything that's going on. All right, thanks so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.